Mr. Transformers 96 here. In the video, I'm going to be showing and talking about some newly shown Marvel Legends items. This time we have a new wave, and it's an Iron Man wave, which is kind of exciting. So this was Hasbro Pulse's Fan Fest Day. So a bunch of Marvel, Star Wars, all sorts of figures were shown. This is the whole new wave that they showed. They only showed one wave, but they showed a few individual figures. I'll make a separate video about the individual Thor, though. I do want to talk about that one. I like that one a lot. But here's the wave that we have. This wave, I believe we have only, and I might be mistaken, but I believe that the only figure that we've seen from this wave previously was Ultron. Ultron was shown in his kind of concept stage. Many believe that it was going to be a part of that villain assortment, but so it was surprising when it wasn't, but here it lies now. So let's get into it. We have four kind of Iron Man styled, figures, and then three others with a very interesting Build-A-Figure. So we'll go by them one by one here, and we'll start off with Darkstar. So I don't know too much about Darkstar. However, the Build-A-Figure is a part of kind of a team called the Winter Guard. Almost like, at least I kind of view them as like Russia's version of Avengers, so something like that. But it's led by Red Guardian. But you've got Darkstar, this Build-A-Figure, Ursa Major, as well as Crimson Dynamo on the team. So I'm excited for this. I'm a sucker for teams. I don't know why. I find teams really interesting. When it comes to figures, I want to complete teams. So I'm happy that she's a part of the team, and that we basically get two of the four members in this line. So very excited to have her with the Build-A-Figure so that she can kind of help complete that Winter Guard team. I do have the Crimson Dynamo Build-A-Figure from the Black Widow wave, and unfortunately, although I did have Red Guardian, I sold him, which I'm regretting now, obviously. The figure was very plain, but as a part of the team, it would have been really cool. So it's disappointing not to have that one now. But I have the movie Red Guardian, so maybe include it with him? I don't know. I'm sure they'll do another rendition of him later on. But overall, she looks like a plain figure, to be honest. Face sculpt is nice, but it is pretty plain. Can't argue that. I like some of the detailing in the hair, but the overall body is your standard female body, nothing special. The inclusion of additional hands is the one kind of unique bonus that she has, though. I feel like not often do you get a figure with multiple hands that doesn't hold things, so I think that's kind of nice that she comes with that. She comes with the biggest portion of the Build-A-Figure as well. Comes with the entire torso, as you can see. So you got the front torso section, you got the back for the torso, and then you got the main kind of hair piece for the back as well. And moving on here, got some more photos of her. Lots of photos of each of these, which I do like. I like how much they're doing here. I like the artwork on the back a lot. And then there you can see the assortment all together. And then we have a hologram Iron Man. Interesting concept, but it's rather plain as well. I like the translucent aspect of it. That's neat, but what are you gonna do with it? It's I don't know. I've never been into hologram style figures. Even when Hot Toys does them, I'm like, I don't really see a need. So personally, and it almost looks like they're using a movie sculpt. Is it just me, or is that the Civil War sculpt? So I'm not into this one. I would probably say this is my least favorite of the team. But I know that there's people out there that really love themselves some translucent. So this might appeal to certain people, but me personally, I think it's basic. Then we have Ironheart. This one intrigues me. I like this. This is kind of the most recent kind of person to take up the Iron Man mantle type thing. Overall, I think that it looks cool because it's 100% a new sculpt from what I can tell. I don't see anything that's reused. It looks really neat. I like the fact that you have a helmeted and unhelmeted head sculpt. The blast effects, the blue blast effects are standard, but I like the kind of smoke swirl that you have for them. I think that's neat. So this is an interesting one. It looks a little cartoony rather than comic-y. That would probably be my only complaint, but nonetheless, I think that it looks like an interesting figure, so I'll be excited for this one. Comes with the leg for the Build-A-Figure. Additional shots. And then we have a modular Iron Man. This is a cool looking Iron Man armor. It's like it's your basic colors, but it's got a unique look. Now this is the only figure that doesn't include a Build-A-Figure piece, so if you're only trying to build a Build-A-Figure, do not need this one. And for the most part, that's me, so I won't be picking this one up. But I think that this is an interesting looking Iron Man armor. I like the face sculpt a lot. I like the outlining of the faceplate. I don't know why, but the outline is just so intense that it looks neat. It's almost like it's welded on. Looks kind of cool. Yeah, and you know, I like the classic kind of just lines to make it look like a robot. I kind of like that look. I think it's represented quite nicely here. Then we have a stealth Iron Man, you know, pretty standard as well, just, you know, like a darker version of your classic Iron Man. Although I like the fact that it comes with a Tony Stark head sculpt, something I don't have, so that's kind of nice there. Very cool. So I like the head sculpt, and I like the colors of it, but it's just, from what I can tell, this is a repaint of an Iron Man that came out that I own, and I'm struggling to figure out what series it was in. I can't remember quite. But I'm almost 100% sure that this is just a repaint, with the exception of some accessories maybe. But overall, I think it's a repaint, maybe a new head. Definitely a new Tony Stark head, though. And then, obviously, comes with the leg again. So, relatively plain, but of the physical Iron Man figures, I think it's the most interesting. But if you're looking at kind of all the Iron figures, then Ironheart's definitely the most interesting in my opinion. Then we have Ultron. This would be the one that I'm most looking forward to in the wave. Even without the Build-A-Figure, I think I'd still purchase this one for sure. He looks great, and it's a great comic-looking Ultron, which I have a really nice Diamond Select Ultron that's done in this style, and it's been great, and I, you know, display it on the Marvel Legends shelf. But this one's a really cool one. I actually like the head sculpt a lot more. It looks very comic-y. I love the kind of fire, molten energy, you know, like a pulsating type look from the mouth. I think that's awesome. That's something that like is in comic shots, but you never expect it to be in an actual figure to make it work. But they include it, and it looks really good. So very impressed with this. I think it looks awesome, and definitely a must-have for me. As a Villains fan, I'm very excited for this one. I was disappointed when it wasn't in the Villains wave, so I'm glad to see it here. I love the artwork that they're doing on the back of these packages for this wave. They've gone like so much more comic-y, and I think it looks awesome. Then we have Vault Guardsman. This is a character that when Iron Man 2 came out, in the you know, 3 3/4 inch toy line, they had this character, and I cannot remember the reason for it, but I just happened to get like multiple versions of this guy. I have like 3 of them, and I don't know why. I think that, you know, I got one because I wanted one, and then I got another one in like a set, and then they did a Black Friday deal where they had, you know, 6 of them together, like all different kinds, and he was included. So like I just ended up with a lot of these guys. So I have a bit of a fondness for this character just because of that, just because of my experience with his 3 3/4 inch figure, which I actually really like. So I'm excited to get a 6-inch version of him. I think the head sculpt's really cool. Comes with a blaster. The overall proportions of him look odd to me. He has a very bulky chest, and then he has like slimmer arms. It's odd, and I think that if they bulked up the arms a bit, or they just bulked down the chest, because he's like, it looks like his body is meant for some massive broad shoulders, and then he's just kind of got regular shoulders, so his proportions look a little off to me, to be honest. I like the colors, though. I'm interested in the character, so overall I'm quite interested in the figure himself. I think that's the last one here. Yes, it is. Here's another figure that's not a part of the wave, but from Marvel Legends. So to end it, let's go on to the Build-A-Figure himself. Ursa Major here is a big bear, basically. Overall, I think he looks really cool. As far as what's new, a lot of them looks new to me. I mean, they might be reusing some pieces, like, I'm, you know, trying to think of other kind of larger, hairy Marvel Legends figures. You've got like Sasquatch and Wendigo, and you got the one from the Villains wave that's coming out soon. So there's a lot, but then those all share the same sculpt. But this one, I don't think it does. This looks completely different to me, which is really cool. It's got like a little bit of a shorter but bulkier type look to it. It has a really unique look, and I think that the hairstyle is a lot different from the other Build-A-Figures. It looks like it's more hairy, like more soft if you were to touch it, rather than the other ones. Face sculpt's cool. I like the aggressive expression. The paws look nice. The joint for the paws go so high up the palm. They like almost touch the fingers. I think that's very interesting. But overall, I think this is a really cool looking Build-A-Figure. Character-wise, I first saw it and I was like, eh. Like character-wise, I was just like, I don't, you know, really know who that is, and it's just like a big bear. But I did like the figure right off the bat. But once I got looking into a bit of the character and the fact that he's a part of that team, it piqued my interest for him a lot more. So I'm actually excited for this Build-A-Figure now. Not stoked, this isn't something that like I'm just dying to have or anything like that. But I think that it does look quite good, and I'm excited for it overall. So just my thoughts on the wave itself. It's an okay wave, to be quite honest. If you were to told me that an Iron Man wave is coming out, I would have expected big things. And this wave, I think, is okay. I think that the Ironheart and Ultron are great additions. The Winter Guard team characters as the Build-A-Figure and Darkstar there, I don't quite see the connection with Iron Man. I get Crimson Dynamo, and he's a part of that team, but those characters seem a bit of a stretch. Now, I don't know much about them, so they most certainly could have had interactions with Iron Man, but I don't think I would have placed them in an Iron Man team, at least not the first Iron Man wave. Well, I guess there was another Iron Man wave back in 2013 with Ironmonger. That was a great wave. Yeah, overall, I think that those characters are a little oddly placed here. And then some of the Iron Mans are having like a movie Iron Man that's in a comic series done in a hologram look. I don't like that at all. The Stealth Iron Man is something that is interesting purely based on the paint. So I would have probably traded out a few of these characters, to be honest. Overall, I'm gonna get the wave. When I first saw it, I didn't think I was, but as the day went on, and I was kind of waiting for it to go on pre-order because I wanted Ultron and Vault Guardsman. I started to think about it more, and I'm like, Ultron and Vault Guardsman, I definitely want. And then I would take Ironheart. I think that that's an interesting looking figure. And then once I found out more about the Build-A-Figure and the team, the Winter Guard, then that got me even more stoked for the Build-A-Figure, and then it gave me a reason to want Darkstar. So I slowly, this wave grew on me in a day, which is interesting. Overall, not super strong in my opinion. There's definitely a couple of these that I'm buying just purely for that Build-A-Figure piece. The hologram Iron Man for sure, and then even the Stealth Iron Man, I'm going to enjoy that one a little bit more, but I am mainly buying that for the Build-A-Figure piece. The other 4 figures, though, I do have some interest in, and then the Build-A-Figure I have interest in now, too. So there you go, that's my thoughts on this new Iron Man wave. Overall, an wave, but one that piqued my interest, and I'm actually looking forward to it now. So let me know what you guys think of the individual figures and the wave as a whole, and thanks so much for watching.